Dangerous signs of blocked arteries. You only need one sign, just one small warning. And yet, for so many people, that sign comes too late. Every day, blocked arteries claim lives. The tragedy isn't that these deaths happen suddenly. The real tragedy is that the signs were there, but nobody listened. Arteries, well, they don't always shout. They whisper. And if you know how to hear those whispers, you can protect yourself and the people you love. Today, we're going to uncover the first 6 dangerous signs of blocked arteries. These are like the warning lights on your body's dashboard. If you ignore them, the engine might fail. But if you notice them, you could actually save your life. Let's begin with the basics. Your arteries are really the highways of your body. They carry oxygen-rich blood to every organ and every cell. When those highways are clear, your body thrives. But when they start to narrow with plaque buildup, the flow slows down. And when one of those roads closes completely, the result is catastrophic. A heart attack, a stroke, or sudden death. Scientists call this process atherosclerosis. It's slow, silent, and deadly. But, it doesn't arrive without clues. Your body is smart. It sends signals. And your job is to listen. Let's start with the most classic and, honestly, the most overlooked. The first dangerous sign is chest discomfort. Not necessarily pain. In fact, many people who eventually suffer a heart attack never actually describe pain. They describe pressure. They describe tightness. They talk about a heavy weight on their chest, as if someone is sitting on them. This feeling is called angina. It happens when the arteries that supply your heart muscle are just too narrow to deliver enough blood, especially when you need more during exertion. You climb stairs. You carry groceries. Suddenly your chest feels heavy. Then it passes when you rest. This is your warning. The American College of Cardiology notes that angina is one of the earliest and most important signs of coronary artery disease. Yet, a lot of people ignore it, thinking it's just indigestion or stress. But science is clear. If your chest feels heavy with effort, your arteries may already be blocked. The second sign is shortness of breath. We all get winded sometimes, but when simple tasks suddenly feel like climbing a mountain, something is wrong. When your heart cannot pump enough blood because arteries are clogged, your lungs are the first to complain. You breathe harder. You feel winded walking across a room or climbing a single flight of stairs. The International Study of Comparative Health, also known as the ischemia trial, confirmed that shortness of breath is as significant a symptom as chest pain in people with artery disease. Many patients report this as their main problem, often without any chest pressure at all. That means, if you are breathless without a clear reason, your arteries could be the cause. Do not dismiss it as just age. Science shows breathlessness may be the first sign of reduced blood flow to the heart. The third sign is unexplained fatigue. You wake up tired. You move through the day exhausted. No amount of rest restores you. While fatigue can have many causes, researchers have found it often precedes major cardiovascular events. The reason is simple. If your arteries are clogged, your heart works harder to push blood. That leaves your body drained. A study in the Journal of the American Heart Association reported that women, in particular, often present with fatigue as a warning sign before a heart attack. Instead of chest pain, they feel weak and tired. This symptom is easy to dismiss, but it can be a silent cry for help. When your energy disappears without reason, think beyond simple tiredness. Think about your arteries. The fourth sign is dizziness or lightheadedness. Have you ever stood up and felt the room spin? That's not always dehydration or standing too fast. It can be a sign that your arteries are not delivering enough blood to your brain. Atherosclerosis reduces oxygen supply. The brain is sensitive. Even small drops in flow cause dizziness. If you feel faint while standing or walking, pay attention. This could be a sign of carotid artery disease, narrowing of the vessels that carry blood to your brain. The American Stroke Association highlights dizziness as a key early symptom before strokes. Ignoring this sign has led countless people to collapse suddenly, never realizing their arteries were silently closing. The fifth sign is palpitations or rapid heartbeat. Imagine your heart racing out of control. Sometimes it flutters. Sometimes it pounds so hard you can feel it in your chest or throat. You think it's anxiety. You think it's caffeine. But often, it's your heart struggling against resistance. Blocked arteries make the heart pump harder to get blood through. Over time, this stress leads to arrhythmias, irregular heartbeats that can be deadly. According to the American Heart Association, coronary artery disease is one of the main causes of abnormal rhythms. A heart that flutters, skips beats, or races without clear reason is a heart crying out against clogged arteries. The sixth sign is nausea or cold sweats. You might be surprised to hear that your stomach and your skin can warn you about your arteries. Many people who later suffer heart attacks recall feeling sick to their stomach or breaking out in a sudden cold sweat. Why? Because the heart, when deprived of oxygen, triggers a stress response. Nerves that connect your heart, stomach, and brain overlap. So heart distress can feel like nausea. Meanwhile, your body floods with adrenaline, causing sweating. The Mayo Clinic notes that these non-classic symptoms are particularly common in women. What many dismiss as food poisoning or a panic attack may actually be their arteries closing. Now, let's pause. We've covered 6 dangerous signs so far: chest discomfort, shortness of breath, unexplained fatigue, dizziness, palpitations, nausea, and cold sweats. Each one may appear mild. Each one may be blamed on something else. But science tells us these are not random. They are signals of a cardiovascular system under threat. And the danger is compounded when you have multiple risk factors: smoking, high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, or a family history of heart disease. Studies published in The Lancet reveal that 9 modifiable risk factors account for over 90% of all heart attacks. That means clogged arteries are not destiny. They are built over time by lifestyle and choices. And they can be prevented, delayed, or treated. Imagine again. You are climbing stairs. Your chest tightens. You stop, and it eases. You dismiss it. But what you didn't see was that your coronary artery is already 70% blocked. The flow is reduced. The muscle starves. You continue with your day. Weeks later, a clot forms on that narrowed spot. In one instant, the artery closes completely. The heart tissue begins to die. That is the anatomy of a heart attack. It is sudden, but it is not without warning. The warning was there in your chest, in your breath, in your fatigue. The tragedy is not that the body failed. The tragedy is that the warning was ignored. So why does the body use such subtle signs? Why not make the pain unbearable? The answer is fascinating. The body is designed to adapt. As arteries narrow, new, smaller vessels, called collaterals, may form to help blood bypass the blockage. These natural detours mask the problem. But they are limited. When stress increases, climbing stairs, carrying weight, or experiencing emotional strain, the collaterals are not enough. That's when symptoms appear. But because they disappear with rest, people dismiss them. This cycle of appearing and disappearing is the body's way of buying time. Time you must not waste. Science also shows why symptoms vary between men and women. Men often present with the classic chest pain. Women, however, frequently show atypical symptoms: fatigue, nausea, jaw pain, dizziness. A study in the Journal of the American Medical Association highlighted that women are more likely to be misdiagnosed and discharged from emergency rooms, even when they are having serious artery blockages. That makes awareness even more vital. Recognizing these subtle differences saves lives. At this point, you may be wondering, how common is all this? The World Health Organization states that cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer globally. responsible for nearly 18 million deaths every year. In the United States alone, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports that 1 in every 4 deaths is due to heart disease, and the majority of these are linked to atherosclerosis. These are not rare conditions. They are the leading threat to human health. And the signs we've discussed are the earliest clues you can catch before disaster strikes. Let's reflect for a moment. If your car dashboard flashed a red warning light, would you ignore it? Would you keep driving until the engine seized? Of course not. Yet when your body flashes warning lights, tightness in your chest, shortness of breath, unexplained fatigue, dizziness, palpitations, cold sweats, too many people push them aside. They wait, they hope, they explain them away. And then it's too late. Your body does not lie. The signals are there. The science is clear. The choice is yours. So, in summary, the first 6 dangerous signs of blocked arteries are not loud explosions. They are whispers. They are signals disguised as normal discomfort. They are the moments you feel heavy, tired, dizzy, sick, sweaty, or breathless. Together, they form the early map of a dangerous journey. If you catch them, you can act. If you ignore them, you gamble with your life. And the odds are not in your favor. Today, we move deeper into the body, exploring how blocked arteries show themselves in your legs, arms, jaw, and even through subtle changes in your daily life. If the first 6 signs were whispers, these next 6 are louder, but only if you know how to listen. The 7th sign is pain in the legs or arms, especially during movement. Most people associate artery blockages with the heart, but your arteries don't just feed the heart. They carry blood to every corner of your body. When those peripheral arteries begin to clog, you may feel pain in your legs while walking. Doctors call this intermittent claudication. The pain often appears in the calves, thighs, or buttocks, and it fades when you rest. It's a direct result of reduced blood flow to the muscles. According to research from the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, peripheral artery disease affects millions worldwide, and it dramatically increases the risk of heart attack and stroke. Yet many people dismiss the pain as just aging or overexertion. But when walking brings pain and rest brings relief, that's not old age. It's a blocked artery waving a red flag. The 8th sign is numbness or weakness in the limbs. Blood is life. When it doesn't flow freely, nerves and muscles suffer. If you frequently feel tingling, numbness, or weakness in your arms or legs, it could mean arteries are blocked. Reduced blood supply deprives your nerves of oxygen, causing them to misfire. Researchers studying ischemic conditions have long recognized numbness as a precursor to bigger events. It can precede a stroke or a severe circulation problem. The Mayo Clinic highlights that numbness in one side of the body or sudden weakness in the limbs should never be ignored, as these can reflect reduced flow to the brain or extremities. Think about it this way. When your hand or foot falls asleep, blood flow is temporarily pinched. Now imagine that pinching isn't temporary, but permanent, due to hardened, narrowed arteries. That's not a harmless tingle. It's a dangerous sign. The 9th sign may surprise you. Erectile dysfunction in men. This is not just a hormonal issue. In fact, it is one of the earliest markers of blocked arteries. Why? Because the arteries in the penis are smaller than those in the heart. That means plaque buildup shows here earlier. The American Heart Association has published studies proving that erectile dysfunction often precedes heart problems by several years. Men experiencing this issue may think it's stress, fatigue, or testosterone. But, science shows it may actually be the first clear warning that their arteries are narrowing. This is why doctors now view erectile dysfunction as a cardiovascular red flag, not just a sexual health issue. Ignoring it can mean missing the earliest chance to protect your heart. The 10th sign is jaw, neck, or back pain. Not all heart-related pain appears in the chest. Pain can radiate, traveling along shared nerve pathways. This phenomenon is called referred pain. Some people about to suffer a heart attack feel it not in the chest, but in the jaw, the throat, or the upper back. Women, especially, are more likely to experience these atypical symptoms. The American Heart Association and Mayo Clinic have both emphasized that jaw pain can be a hidden heart symptom. If you experience unexplained pain in your jaw, neck, or upper back, especially during exertion, it may be your arteries struggling to deliver blood to the heart. Ignoring this can be fatal. It's not dental pain. It's not posture. It could be your body's most critical warning. The 11th sign is cold hands and feet. Circulation tells a story. When your extremities often feel cold, even in warm environments, it may be due to narrowed arteries. Blood has a harder time reaching the furthest points of your body. Harvard Medical School notes that cold extremities are a common marker of peripheral artery disease, which itself is linked to higher risks of heart attack and stroke. If your fingers or toes often feel icy, don't dismiss it as poor circulation due to weather. Think deeper. It could mean your body is struggling to move blood through blocked vessels. Over time, this lack of flow doesn't just make you uncomfortable. It damages tissues, delays healing, and can even lead to ulcers or infections in severe cases. The 12th sign is swelling in the ankles or feet. When blood cannot circulate properly, fluid builds up. This swelling, called edema, is often brushed off as fatigue or too much salt. But the Cleveland Clinic warns that swollen feet and ankles may point to heart disease, blocked arteries, or even heart failure. The heart's inability to pump effectively due to narrowed arteries allows fluid to leak into surrounding tissues. The result? Puffy, swollen legs. This symptom often appears in the evening or after long periods of standing. By the time this sign is visible, cardiovascular disease may already be advanced. It is a signal that should never be ignored. Now, let's pause again. We have completed the list. 12 dangerous signs of blocked arteries. Together, they paint a vivid picture of how your body warns you. 6 signs in part 1, 6 signs in part 2. Chest discomfort, shortness of breath, fatigue, dizziness, palpitations, cold sweats, pain in the legs, numbness, erectile dysfunction, jaw or back pain, cold hands and feet, swollen ankles. Each sign may appear harmless, but science shows that they are anything but harmless. They are your body's language, its urgent cry for attention. Why does this matter so much? Because heart disease remains the #1 killer worldwide. The World Health Organization estimates nearly 18 million people die from cardiovascular disease every year. That's 1 in 3 global deaths. In the United States, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention report that 1 person dies from heart disease every 34 seconds. The root cause in most of these cases is blocked arteries. Silent, hidden, growing over decades. And the 12 signs we've explored are the only early chance you have to act. Think about how these signs appear in daily life. A man climbs stairs and feels tightness in his chest. He stops, and it passes. A woman wakes up tired every day despite sleeping well. She ignores it. Another person feels calf pain when walking, then relief when resting. They chalk it up to age. Someone else notices their ankles swelling at night. They dismiss it as water retention. These are the whispers of blocked arteries. They appear ordinary, but they are extraordinary warnings. And ignoring them is the difference between life and sudden death. The science is consistent. Studies in journals like The Lancet and Circulation show that most heart attacks and strokes occur in people with long-standing atherosclerosis, yet these people had signs years before. The issue is not lack of symptoms, it is lack of awareness. Too many people mistake these symptoms for fatigue, age, stress, or diet. That's why education is powerful. Awareness is prevention. Knowing these signs means you can connect the dots before it's too late. At this point, you may be wondering, what can be done if you notice one or more of these signs? The first step is not to panic. The second step is not to ignore. The correct action is to seek medical evaluation. Doctors have tests that can reveal blockages before disaster strikes. A blood test can check cholesterol. An ultrasound can measure blood flow. A coronary calcium scan can show plaque buildup in the heart arteries. None of these tests are invasive, but their results can save your life. The U.S. Preventive Services Task Force recommends screening for high-risk adults starting at age 40. But if you already have symptoms, you should not wait. Another reason this matters is that sometimes artery blockages cause no symptoms at all until the moment of crisis. That is why doctors call heart disease a silent killer. But often, there are small signs, like the 12 we've discussed, that people just dismiss. Recognizing them early may mean the difference between a stent in a controlled hospital procedure and a heart attack in the middle of the night. Science has proven that early detection and lifestyle changes dramatically reduce risk. It is not too late unless you wait. So, let's recap what we've learned across Part 1 and Part 2. The body has a language of warning signs for blocked arteries. Some appear in the chest, some in the breath, some in the legs, some in the jaw, some in subtle feelings of fatigue or dizziness, some in visible swelling. Taken together, they form a complete map of danger. Ignoring one may be risky. Ignoring several may be deadly. Listening to them could be life-saving. We've uncovered all 12 signs of blocked arteries. 6 in Part 1, 6 in Part 2. Each one is your body's early alarm system. But knowing the signs is only half the battle. The real power lies in prevention, because science is clear. While blocked arteries are dangerous, they are not inevitable. You can take control. You can protect your heart, your brain, and your life. The question is, will you act before it's too late? First, let's understand why arteries become blocked in the first place. The process is called atherosclerosis. Over time, cholesterol, fat, calcium, and cellular waste collect inside artery walls. This buildup, called plaque, narrows the space for blood to flow. Sometimes the plaque stays stable. Other times, it ruptures, forming a clot that can completely block blood flow. That is when heart attacks and strokes strike. The World Health Organization confirms that lifestyle factors, diet, smoking, stress, and lack of exercise, account for the vast majority of cardiovascular deaths. That means your daily choices are more powerful than you realize. So, what can you do? The first step is food. Harvard researchers found that diets rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and fish reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease by nearly 30%. Foods like oats, beans, and leafy greens lower bad cholesterol. Olive oil and walnuts provide healthy fats that calm inflammation. Fatty fish like salmon and sardines give omega-3s that protect blood vessels. At the same time, you must avoid trans fats, fried foods, and processed snacks. These damage artery walls and speed up plaque growth. Every bite you take either heals or harms. Choose wisely, and your arteries will thank you. The second step is movement. Exercise is not optional for artery health. It's essential. The American Heart Association recommends at least 150 minutes of moderate activity each week. That's just 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. Walking, swimming, cycling. Anything that keeps your blood moving. Exercise strengthens your heart, lowers blood pressure, improves cholesterol, and even helps reduce stress. Think of it as cleaning your body's highways every single day. The third step is controlling blood pressure and blood sugar. High blood pressure damages artery walls, making it easier for plaque to stick. High blood sugar from diabetes accelerates plaque buildup. Together, they are a dangerous duo. Regular checkups, mindful eating, and stress management keep these numbers in check. Studies show that even small reductions in blood pressure significantly lower the risk of heart attack and stroke. The fourth step is quitting smoking. If there's one single action that produces instant results, it's this. Smoking scars artery linings, thickens blood, and raises clotting risk. The World Health Organization states that quitting smoking cuts your risk of heart disease in half within a year. No pill or supplement works that fast. Quitting is the most powerful decision you can make. The fifth step is stress management. Chronic stress keeps your body flooded with cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones raise blood pressure, stiffen arteries, and promote inflammation. Research in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology shows that meditation, yoga, deep breathing, and even simple walks lower stress and protect arteries. Taking care of your mind is taking care of your heart. Finally, don't ignore regular screenings. Doctors can check cholesterol, blood pressure, and blood sugar easily. Imaging tests like coronary calcium scans or carotid ultrasounds can reveal plaque before symptoms appear. The U.S. Preventive Services Task Force recommends screening high-risk adults starting in their 40s. But if you already have symptoms, don't wait. Testing saves lives. So here is the truth. Blocked arteries are deadly, but they are not unchangeable. Science proves you can slow, stop, and even reverse parts of the process. Your arteries are your body's lifelines. Keep them clear, and you give yourself more years, more energy, more life. Ignore them, and you gamble with time you may not have. You've now learned the 12 dangerous signs and the proven steps to fight back. The choice is yours. You can walk away and hope for the best, or you can act today. Eat smarter, move more, quit smoking, manage stress, and get checked. These aren't small changes. They are life-saving decisions. If this video gave you value, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with family and friends. You never know whose life you might save with this information. Awareness is power. Action is life. And your life is worth protecting. Starting right now.